Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself. Today is a suggestion for a future video that I have working on desert vibes in video game music, and this one was suggested to me by many people, but requested by Richard and Orange. We have two games, which I don't really do, but this is Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles Sandopolis Zone Act 1 and 2. And then we have Team Sonic Racing Boo's House full mix from the channels Ruby and Sonic Kai. That's it. So, ironically enough, I was looking at the comments for this, or sorry, not the comments, the the requester note, and this one was actually suggested for my fire themed episode, not desert. So that kind of puts a little imagery in my head, but interesting. Anyways, this is a Sandopolis Zone Act 1. God, I love old Sonic music. Can I take a guess here? Are there pyramids? Is it Egyptian? It's got a lot of Phrygian tonalities. Ooh, the bass. Boom, 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 boom. No, I'm not gonna look it up yet. I want to, but I'm not going to. Now the fire part confuses me though. Would you guys say this is more desert than fire? Or kind of half and half? Or like 70-30? I love how much audio is like drenched all over the song. It's like the bass isn't. The bass is very direct. All the leads are like floating in reverb. That's so cool. Oh my god, that bass line is insane. Ooh, this is good. Alright, we're gonna jump right into Act 2. If I had to take a guess, I want to take two guesses. It's faster. It's faster, and I feel like the bass is going to be somehow more prominent. Yes. Yes, the bass is very prominent. Oh god. About the same speed though. Jeez, just straight up like synth bass now, completely. Oh, interesting. It feels slower at times. Raise your hand if you've been listening to this song for 30 years, humming this bass line, because I can see that happening. Damn, that's filthy. That's weird. Right here it sounds like the timing goes like astray. It's over? Oh, dude, I was just... Oh, dude, that was so sick. Okay, I wasn't expecting it to be slower. It's like chunkier, but damn, dude, that bass is the star of the show in both of them. I'm not gonna like dive too much into music theory here, but basically, a very light understanding of what I mean by Phrygian. How do I condense this down? Basically, in the simplest way to put it, a lot of the music you hear in the entire world, at least in Western music, can be a part of the major scale. Just kind of think of it as like this kind of daddy entity of notes. And within the major scale, there's different degrees at where you can start, and they all have their own tonality, right? There's Mixolydian, Lydian, Dorian, and then Phrygian is the third one. Phrygian is a very popular one and one of my favorites. It's used a lot in flamenco, Spanish guitar, metal, and it has a very distinct Eastern exotic flair to it. And that's what I'm hearing here. It's pretty. I'm pretty sure this is in Phrygian. Anyways, so yeah, without like diving into it, I'm not here to teach you stuff. It's just I had a feeling that the reason I'm bringing this up is because I had a feeling that when I was going to do the Desert Vibes episode, that there was going to be a lot of Phrygian scale songs. And that's kind of where I'm getting at. So the first one, this is the first, by the way, the first suggestion to have it off the bat kind of proves my point. And it's going to be a funny video because I can almost guarantee that 80% of that video is going to be Phrygian and Phrygian dominant. Anyways. Okay. Well, that was great, right? The bass, honestly, like, it's probably one of my favorite parts of the early Sonic games because it's so punchy and melodic at the same time. It's not just, doing the low end, but you can remember doom, 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 whatever the melody is doing. So it's kind of doing like a double duty thing, and also it just sounds really good. It's really sonically pleasing. I promise that wasn't intended. But I lost my train of thought. It's nice on the ears, right? And this sounds good to me on a YouTube video from 17 years ago. Imagine hearing this on your CRT from your Sega with your 32X attachment with your, all these like things that Sega did, what the hell they were doing. I'm just saying, it lived up. It was ahead of its time. It's still good now. And it's so interesting to me, especially Sonic 3, because in case you didn't know, just the tiniest TLDR, I played Sonic 1 and recently 2. So I know that sound very well. 3, I only played the first level. So 3 is always going to have this very unique case in my brain where it's all new to me, yet it's extremely nostalgic of the Sonic I know. It's very weird, but that's just where I'm at. So anytime I hear Sonic & Knuckles or Sonic 3 specifically, it's this like feeling in my heart that I can't explain, and no other game has that in this entire library. So that's something. Only Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. Anyways, this is a unique case. I don't like to do multiple games in a video, but I do recall hearing Team Sonic Racing before for the Christmas episode I did, actually. Christmas songs. And that one also used a previous motif. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that Team Sonic Racing is either mostly, if not all, remixes. Let me know. Let me know if TSR has unique original songs. This one's just called Boo's House, which is totally... It doesn't say anywhere here Sandopolis, but I was told to listen to it with Sandopolis. This is Boo's House, full mix. I do not know the composer of this one. starting to hear it already. Phrygian knocking on the door. You see how well that translates to metal? What did I just say? Phrygian and metal are like this. This is gonna work so well because of that. Music theory can be very fun sometimes when you start to connect the dots together. Wow. This works so well. Another characteristic of Phrygian is notes that are very close together. Listen to the bass line. Listen to the guitar. It's like this tension of a feel of a song, which a lot of desert themes have, and flamenco and metal. It's such a long rabbit hole of things, but just notice when you're hearing these, there's not a big movement between like the fretboard or the keyboard. It's all like a tight space, and you'll notice that your ear will tell you that like we're in a tiny block of the instrument. Here's your lesson for the day. Meaning, if you're interested in learning an instrument and you want to learn it by ear, you just have to find like one note and you'll know the rest are really close by. Da, 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 da. I love the cymbals. I'm gonna take a wild guess that this has nothing to do with the desert in this game. Maybe. Okay. With 1 minute left, we get a change. Wow. Sonic does not give AF. They could have just ended the song like 2 minutes ago. They could have ended on the faster part. But no, they wanted to screeching halt it, stop completely the like momentum, and then just end with a nice little like ending thing. I think if we're gonna get even more music theory here, I want to say that last part was referred to as a coda, C-O-D-A. But it might have been too long for a coda. Coda meaning just kind of like the outro of a song, basically. It's like definitely a different part of the rest of the song. This one, It's hard to tell because my brain was like firing neurons like crazy, but I don't think the key shifted. I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. I was paying attention to the tempo. The tempo definitely went up. And I don't recall that happening in the other time I heard Team Sonic Racing. Maybe? I don't think so. But a lot of things came to mind immediately. One, it's a racing game. So one thing and one thing only comes to mind. No, two things. Two things come to mind. That last part, I'm going to assume this whole song like this doesn't play the way in game. It does say full mixes. So my initial guess is this is like the final lap, or you hear this very briefly if there's like a sort of speed power-up type of thing. Just like the only two instances I could see the song like turning up in intensity and tempo, right? So maybe this song fluctuates a lot between the fast and slower parts, and it doesn't play like this progressive, slower, and then this fast part out of nowhere, and then ends with the da-da-da-da. I bet you that da-da-da-da was probably like finishing the lap or something. Racing music, like racing game music, is definitely structured a certain way, right? You know, you gotta, it's triggered by certain events. So that last part is probably like the equivalent of like an RPG fanfare, if I had to guess, right? I don't have much experience with kart racers, or not kart racers, but like racing games. I've only played CTR, which I loved, and the first two Gran Turismos. So I'm kind of basing it off of that knowledge. And if you want to get technical, I did play Motor Combat, which is a kind of rip-off of those games I just mentioned, but in, I forgot what game. It was like a side game in Mortal Kombat. Anyways, now the other thing I was thinking of, and this is where it gets kind of confusing, I'm almost positive the first two songs, the originals, have to do with a desert because they were suggested to me for desert themes. But I also have the note of saying this would work well with the fire theme, which I've already done. So that makes a lot of confused faces. Like, is this an outdoor desert? Are we inside something? You know, is there lava? Is there... Anyways, either way. But then the next song doesn't say Sandopolis anywhere. It just says Booze House. Like, what? So is this a callback only in music? Or did they take... Okay, well, let me rephrase that. Did they reuse Sandopolis visually again and make a track out of it and just change the name of it? Or did they use the song Sandopolis and it just happens to work here? You know what I mean? This is all very important for me because when I add this to that episode, I have to know if I'm going to put this one in there. But definitely the first one. The first one, absolutely. Like, it definitely gave me the desert vibes, right? Because that's what desert vibes sound like. And fun fact, the song that inspired the episode, which no one knows yet, and the one that always like sparks the idea of... I always have one in mind when I start the VGM vibes. The one I have in mind is very reminiscent of Sandopolis 1 and 2. So it's right up there with what I agree with sounds like desert. I wonder if anyone can guess it. But you won't know for a while. I'm still working on it. It's still far away. There's a lot of things I have to do. But yeah, cool. Well, tell me whatever. Feel free. I have to know these things so I can put it in the video. That was great. Both fantastic. Let me know the composer of this one. But that was great. And you got to learn a little bit about the Phrygian mode and codas. Professor Jesse is out of here. No, just kidding. Okay, well, I'll see you in VGM Vibes 11. Desert themes, still far away. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you to the requesters. And by the way, just as a, I don't like to do these things, but in case you're curious, not for this episode is already called for, but just throwing it out there, but my Patreon does have a free member tier, which means you just need an account. free members I do let them suggest and vote when it comes to specifically VGM Vibes episode stuff. So if you want to like partake in those, you can sign up. It doesn't cost anything. This one's already, like I said, Desert Vibes is already kind of done for, but the next one, whenever that happens, you possibly could have some say in it. Just saying. Anyways, thank you to the requesters. Thank you to everyone you see here. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Later.